Welcome to the Daily High on this fantastic Monday morning. What a weekend, Tone. How are you, my friend?
Good, good. So rough to wake up this morning after that crazy Super Bowl that went to overtime. Man, I was really rooting for San Francisco. Most people I was at this big theater place. It was like 100 people watching, and more than 100 people watching, and like most people were rooting for San Francisco. So disappointing. They gave that
Mm.
game away. They should have won.
Yeah, I watched the game as well. And I don't know. It's funny. When my team goes out of any kind of championship game, I tend to not give a shit and I end up looking for other narratives. I don't really enjoy it, it's just, especially in Australian sports. I sometimes I don't even watch the final if my team's not in it. I don't care. I'm dead. Football's dead to me and I'm on to the next thing already. If anyone's been watching, I was more interested. If anyone's been watching the Six Nations rugby, Scotland, come on. Any Scottish fans in here? Fucking French. Oh, come on. All right.
French
Let's
play
let,
rugby? Oh my God.
I love rugby. I love it's what the gods will play is rugby. All right, so let's go. Let's go. This is it. We held a trade over the weekend, and without any further ado, I'm going to screen share first because I got a sneaking suspicion that I snuck over the line. Oh shoot. It's not, it's close. I made $28.56. I won.
Oh wait. Oh, there it is. Okay. Took a little while for Zoom to register. Yeah, you made okay, you went 2x long, I went 2x short. That makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
$30 in each direction then.
All
30,
right.
you're up
Third.
30, I'm down 30.
All right. Let
Oh
me
no,
just check.
wait, your P&L was different. Okay, that's why it
Yeah,
didn't cite this.
but you were still down to the downside. So
Yeah.
I will add 30 squid. So my PNL is now shit. I wonder what your PNL is. Let's have a look. But you were very, very shortly leveraged, weren't you?
Yeah, no, I was also 2x leverage, but
Right.
I was leveraged to the short side. Actually, like the everything got changed. I mean, I had to go back and watch Friday's show like this morning to see where the hell I entered the trade. See, I'm down 30
Yeah.
because my P&L was slightly bigger. Man, okay, let me just review what happened here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took that short right around here.
Yeah.
This is 9 a.m. on Friday, so this would have been 7 a.m. on Friday. The 1 hour MRI top was coming up. I ended up with this beautiful reversal candle. Going into, I guess, Saturday morning, I was very comfortable with the pullback. And then I guess with the Super Bowl, some extra betting going on. Bitcoin is still kind of used in the gambling space. And now this morning we're pulling back. So it'll be interesting what trades we're going to be entering. So yes, I am going to adjust my PNL. I am down 30, so we're almost the same on PNL.
Yeah.
Going down 30 makes it 265. Well, we're both now up about over 20%, but your dinosaur is definitely moving up the board here.
All right. Give me back the screen share. I'll move the dinosaur because actually, I'll show you.
Uh-oh, I'm going back to the starting level. Oh boy.
You're back where you started, my friend.
All right. I'm gonna let you do the analysis first. I'm gonna let you do the, why don't you do the analysis first? Because I think Alpha Numerics is gonna have some
Yep.
interesting things. The Alpha Numerics flipped from a
Yep.
short to a long after the big run up, man. And that would frustrate me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I hate it when that happens on my chart. So why don't you explain the Alpha
All
Numerics
right.
daily and weekly trends?
All right. Let's launch straight into it. So frustrating is true. Okay, so we're looking at Blackbox right now. All right. So we're talking about Blackbox. Everybody knows what the positions that I hold. I'll start with the trade that I was in from last week. So I entered the trade off this blue line here, and Tone, you'll vouch for me. I sent you the verification of the trade and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
I closed the position here. So I made 1.85 profit. Sorry, 185 profit in that trade. And when I kept going, and I was a bit disappointed that I sold it, but I took profit. So I can remove right now these lines. I'm in no leverage trade at the moment. I'm just in my positions that I entered back at 17,200 and 27,200 in my long-term swing trade, no leverage positions. I'm fully in cash in my leverage positions, but I'd be looking to re-enter if we get a good little pullback at this point because the wave is green. So when the wave is green, everything is happy in my books, except probably because of the bot. Okay, so the bot went long at 28,000. We closed the position out at around, what was it, 42,000,
Oh,
42.
Matt, can you back up? Why did it go long at 28,000 and not 30,000 and change?
Because I don't use these SARs, Tone. They're
Okay,
modified SARs, right? So we
okay.
and we need a. I won't go into the full details. It's a black box for a reason, right? But we came up, we met the criteria when the daily candle closed. Remember, we're on the weekly time frame right now.
Correct.
We did have a smash through and then a pullback, and then on the daily close, that's where the candle flipped. And these are not the same SARs that are actually in the black box. They're slightly modified to be more exponential. So we got long at about 28,000. We closed the position here. We went short. I did not expect us to burst back through like this, but it has done it. So the bot had a losing trade after a winning trade and gave back about 12% of the profit that we made on the way up. So what, right? It is what it is. And that's why, if you please watch my video on diversified trading within a single asset, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to keep talking about it until it's only got 600 views. It should have a lot more views than 600 because it's very, very valuable. But the Blackbox bot is a long-term position bot. We're still up on our initial capital. It'll just roll over, roll over, roll over. And at the moment, we are 100% long in the bot. All good. We had a losing trade, all good. It doesn't matter. It just rolls over, rolls over. But the main point is on the weekly time frame that I am now bullish on every single time frame. Every time frame I could possibly have from the monthly on down to the 1 hour time, till the daily time frame, I'm bullish. Um, it's great. It's great. And it's the same sort of problem that we have here on the MRI, which you'll go into as well. That the one candle, the first candle in the MRI sequence had the biggest push. And now it puts you in a precarious situation, which I'm really interested to hear your TA on that. The daily time frame, I do actually now expect, because we're overextended, I would put my first target for re-entry would be like, let's do this. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. I think that it will come back and test a 7 at least. Okay. So at this point, I do think that we'll probably come back down. Otherwise, I'd be looking at this point. We're back in liminal space. If you're in no trade right now, I'm looking for either a pullback down to the 7 for something, or like come back down to test these points. I'm not buying here unless we start breaking out above this candle here at 48. I'm not interested in this zone right here. It's gone up too far, too fast. I'm not interested. I'll leave these markers in because on the 4 hour time frame, it'll probably, yeah, there we go, right? So I would say at least on the 4 hour time frame, we'll come back into the 7. But look how far we are from the 200. Historically, every single bull market we have, when the wave turns green, at one point we're going to come back inside this green wave, and it's always very, very far away when it first comes in. But this will keep rising up, and in the months to come, the best buy that you could possibly have is when we can get back inside, and you'll hear me say this 1,000 times in the next few months, back inside the green wave near to the lucid SARS. So let's say and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but we get back inside this zone here when I can define my stop loss where my trend changes, my long-term bias changes down here, but every time this is going to keep rising, rising, rising. This is going to keep rising, rising, rising. I want to be buying back inside the green wave. It's always what we do. It's always what we do. So, but right now, I do, I could see this coming back down to the 30 SMA and then recovering. or it going lower to the 50 or it going lower to the 200. There's no trade on the line for me right now until we either reestablish the highs or come back down and test some of these points right here. That's where I'm sitting right now. I've got cash ready to get long, big time long, especially now. There's a few trades I made in the last few weeks, which were fantastic trades. I've had a great few weeks of trading, made some really serious money. But I've got that ready, locked and loaded. Now the wave's green. I am looking for pullbacks. We're back in a buy the dip zone in my mind. That's where I sit right now, Tone. Let me know what you
All
think.
right, that was actually a great summary. I'm gonna start with I have no more cash to get long. My cash is completely 100% in long trades already. They are unleveraged long trades. And based on a higher level time scale, these are your 4-day and your weekly. There's absolutely nothing to be concerned about based on higher level time frames. The only, and I'm going to talk about that MRI on a weekly in a minute. The only potential upcoming concern on a daily time scale is the fact that we are now close to an MRI top, and this is a bit of a perfect run-up. Now, the only thing that's missing, the one thing I don't really want to see, is I don't want to see 3 to 4 day consolidation giving me a daily MRI top within consolidation. What I want to see is maybe a day of a pullback and then a final pop to the upside, making that final MRI top candle something similar to this. Just that one more final day. This is not like the best example. And let me see if I can find you the perfect example. Something like this.
Yeah.
Where we have consolidation towards the end of the MRI run-up. And then on that last day, you get that one more pop. Or the day before the last day, you get that one more pop, giving me the perfect MRI top. However, overall, as Matt said, we are pretty far from that 200-day moving average. And this is good, actually. I don't need to have my 200-day moving average lineup because that's the top of the wave. That's right. The wave turned green, and so everything is bullish. I will add one more thing. I'll mention it real quick. Matt mentioned Blackbox a couple of times. We're going to do a dedicated video to Blackbox because I definitely have questions. I don't know as much about it. That's Matt's little project, but I will be working with Matt's team in order to give them ideas how to code an MRI trading bot for Blackbox, and hopefully they'll release that sometime later this year. And we will do a dedicated video soon, probably in a week or two, sometime.
The only reason,
this month,
thank you, Tony. The only reason I haven't gone through Blackbox, which is my company, fully, is because we're in the process now of bringing 2-bit exchange online. So we have a massive monster promotion coming with 2-bit, and I'm so excited to tell you about it. But we just need to onboard it first. So just tread water. Massive promotion coming. You'll be stoked.
Right. And yeah, and Matt's got links in a video description that will tell you more about it. Definitely. Okay. So where do we stand now? Let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the bigger picture.
Can you if before we go to the bigger picture, just go to the 12-hour for a minute. I use the 12-hour. I know I don't know if you've ever spoken about the 12-hour, but I look at it. I look at the 4-hour and 12-hour for my intraday trading, and I was really interested in the MRI top. And now that's sort of what I'm basing. I always scan through different time frames to find one that fits my narrative, right? And I know that's probably a bad thing to do, but I can use that to my advantage here. And I thought the 12-hour was valid.
It's kind of funny that I have this arrow drawn from the very tip of that candle.
Yeah.
And I know I drew this arrow like on Friday. I have not opened this chart since Friday. So isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, right.
It looks like I put it there on purpose with a 12-hour candle, but I haven't even looked at a 12-hour candle in like a year.
You're right.
And and I know I didn't draw this arrow over the weekend because I didn't look at charts at all. So that's kind of freaky.
See, for me, the 12-hour here, it's either a 1 to 4 candle pullback, which that's why I said in my analysis that if we get back above that 48.3, I'm bullish again, rounded numbers, because that's a 1 to 4 candle on the 12-hour. Or we get an MRI top looking at further downside. So that's why I've been paying attention to the 12-hour.
Yeah, this 20 period moving average is really rising quickly. And yeah, so on a daily chart, that's the only thing. We're topping out a smidge too early, like a day too early. The fifth candle of the run-up gave us the highest close, and that makes it a bit challenging to get that MRI top. I would like to get the MRI top, but I think if we do start to pull back here, we're not going to hit the MRI top. Now, that's good and bad. The bad part of not hitting the MRI top, it makes it a little harder to time your trades. The good thing about not hitting an MRI top is you can, reset the count and then start a whole new one because you never actually made it to an MRI top.
It's so funny with
Now,
the MRI,
yeah.
Tone, because I use the MRI religiously, as you well know, but I don't use it the way that you use it. I'm looking for the MRI tops and bottoms. I'm looking for the green star candle, but I don't have to wait till a 9 to pull the trade. Then it becomes like price action and whatnot. So like a lot of those trades you saw me pull, I then went to alphanumerics and thought, well, it's overcooked. I'm pulling profit on the trade. Well, I didn't have to wait for the 9. So for me right now on the daily time frame, it's stuck right in that the zone towards the end of the trend. But like, yeah, so I'm either looking, I'd be more comfortable buying again on a green star than a 6 at this point on the daily
Oh, of
time frame.
course.
You know what I mean?
So am
Like,
I,
so
yeah.
yeah, exactly, right? So it's just too far into the trend from the move's been missed. So I want to see, I would now be looking for a pullback to buy off at least one of the moving averages to get something out of it, you know?
So let's zoom out real quick. This is the monthly chart. I had my halving set to March, but it's very clear now the halving is going to be in April. So I expected a bunch of volatility on the month of the halving. So in a way, I kind of want to slide these things over by one. Something like this. Yeah, I can't wait. Like once the halving is over, I gotta hold on to these things until there is a. I don't know. Maybe there will be volatility next month, the month before the halving. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna leave everything as it was. And weekly chart is the one that I really want to discuss here.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to see when it comes to MRI trading is a monster breakout candle on a reset candle of a 1. Whether this is to the upside or to the downside, that doesn't matter. Okay, so it's the same thing with alphanumerics, right? Like the last thing you want is the monster candle that happens to break the SAR point at the very end of the tip of the candle, right? After it's gone up an unreasonable amount. So this candle went up 13%, and it's the second biggest candle. Like so that was 15%, 15%, and 26%. Wow. So, but the price was way lower. So this is one of the biggest candles, the fourth biggest candle, fifth biggest candle in the last year and change. So that's not how you want to see it. But here is where I'm hoping that everything can reset for me. Prices can correct. Assets can correct through price, or they can correct through time. I'm happy with either. So if we do not pull back all the way to the $44,000 area, what will make me re-comfortable with the situation is current candle does not break, does not close above last week's candle. So if this candle stays the way it is right now, today's only Monday. So if this candle is a consolidation candle, giving us a green star candle on the following candle, or even better, if this is a consolidation week, and then next week is another consolidation week, that would give me enough consolidation time and then we break the 62% Fibonacci with a vengeance, maybe not as vengeful as last week's move, but something similar to, let's say, the candle of early December. Like this candle was 9.5% up, or the candle prior to that was a 6% up, right? Something 5% or greater, doesn't have to go 10% or greater, but I don't want to see that candle this week or maybe even next week. I'd rather have it delayed into very, very late February to give us that green star candle, not on candle number 2, but candle number 3, or even better, candle number 4. But I don't like seeing green star candles on candle number 5. In fact, there will not even be a green star, because a green star can only show up on candles 1 to 4. When a green star shows up on candle number 5, I feel that it's too late in the trend to really, jump on a trade significantly. So that's why you will never see a green star candle like candle number 5. Maybe you will, but definitely not candle number 6. But I think it's only candles 1 to 4. And it can't be on candle number 1. So it's only like a 3-candle span that you can even get a green star. It has to be on candle 2, 3, or 4. Okay.
Tony, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
That purple line you've got there, I reckon that's a 20-period SMA. Is that right?
This one here?
Yeah.
This is a weekly scale. So yes, that is a 20-period SMA. That's correct.
I don't want to judge your method, but I feel like that's not responsive enough. Where I've got the 7 on there, which would put it at today's value is about 44,000. I just feel like it's a little bit lagging, just in my opinion. I get the point that like below and above it, but it just feels like where that all of your moving averages there are just so far from the price on the weekly scale that they're not
I'm not
relevant.
gonna debate that. It does seem a little bit, I mean, it has worked.
Yeah.
There probably should be a more reactive moving average in front of it. But mostly I am using the 4-day chart
Yeah.
for any allocation. And the
Yeah.
4-day chart, I use a 3, a 9, and a 30.
Yeah.
And these are pretty reactive.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
the
Yeah.
9 is my main moving average here. So it's a 9 period on a 4-day candle.
Mm. Mm.
And this is a 30 on a 4-day candle. So it's kind of equivalent to a 15 moving average. So it's definitely, because it's half the week, a little more than half the week in candle time, in price terms, and the moving average is 30 and not 20. So it's a little bit more reactive than the 20 period, but not by much.
Yeah, and I get that that's the Consensio is on the 4-day, and I get that as well. You'd probably much rather use the MRI on the weekly for sure.
But yeah, but that is how I'm treating the MRI right now, is that I am hoping we consolidate, we pull back through time instead of through price. But the weekly MRI is still calling for a top in this box near this next purple line, which is the next Fibonacci number, which is not the most relevant Fibonacci number, but it is there. Speaking of Fibonacci's, I thought your show with Fiboswani was absolutely excellent. I learned something new. Anytime I learn something new in a trading show, like that's what makes it a good show for me. And I did not know we never closed above a 62% Fibonacci prior to the halving. That has never happened. So far, it's 3 for 3. I know it's not a great sample size, but it always came into it before the halving, but was never was able to close above it. And I think this time we will close above it before the halving, because in all those prior times, there wasn't this Bitcoin ETF situation.
And wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that amazing? Please, if you haven't watched the Trader Talks with Fiboswani, I know Tony just said it. It was brilliant. Fiboswani was excellent, and what Tony you just said, that was groundbreaking for me. And Fibo actually said, like, this time we might. It's only been 3 sample sizes. That's not a long sample size. We might break it this time, and that throws all of it out the window. Which is, you can see in his voice that he was kind of rooting for that. Like he wanted the model broken. You see like guys like Plan B and whatnot that are hanging their hats on models. Fibo wanted his model broken because that means more upside, and he'll be on it. He'll be on it either way. And it was brilliant. It was excellent.
Yeah. And I will say one more thing. My biggest concern right now, and my biggest, I guess, fundamental reason for a little bit of a pullback here before the halving is that now that the ETFs have been trading for over a month or about a month, we had a lot of rotation out. So the majority of the people that were selling GBTC, myself included, were selling it in order to reapply that same capital into a different ETF, into a different Bitcoin proxy, like moving it from GBTC to BlackRock or Fidelity. But I think there was a big chunk of GBTC that needs to be sold that is not going to go back into Bitcoin. These are your 3AC and BlockFi and some of the other holders of GBTC that have probably slightly delayed that selling in order to capture that final gain from this FOMO within the Bitcoin ETF space. And now that waters have kind of cooled down and the price is sitting at a new like year and probably a year and a half high, where are we here? This is the highest close since December of 21. We are at a 2-year high. All of 22, all of 23, and over 2 years. So this is 26, 27 month high. And
Awesome.
I think some of these entities are going to be forced to sell, especially since they're going through like legal issues. And I think that's going to create a little bit of extra pressure on the price of Bitcoin. Like all the buying FOMO has already happened. And now that the price is slightly pulling back or consolidating here, it may just stay that way for a little while where those guys are forced to sell some. So that's my only like slight bearish case for the next few weeks, maybe into the halving, but I still think there's one more FOMO pump into the halving left. And that's why I'm still eyeing this box for the top before or at the time of the halving.
Awesome. Let's put our trade on. We've got a whole week of this coming of chat.
Man, this makes it hard. All right. You got your trade ready, and I'll just do mine on screen share since I'm on screen share.
All right. I feel like people might be thinking that you've done them all on screen share and I haven't, but that's just how it's worked out. So I'll put mine on now.
All right, put yours on. I'm gonna open alphanumerics.
What's our price?
No, sorry. I'm gonna open float.
I reckon 48 flat or 48.
Well, I accidentally closed my my tab that I put these trades on, so let me reopen it here.
48.030 will do.
The price is 48.030. You are right. Okay, 48.030. And now it's even harder because based on what I have to factor in your psychology and what you said earlier in the show. So my last two trades have been to the short side. I went leverage 1, leverage 2, and I still feel like this needs a short-term pullback. As long as I am in my real life account, I am going to stick with the pullback trade. And I'm going to actually up my leverage all the way to 5 because sooner or later this thing needs to pull back. So I'm not just going to double down. I'm going to go double down a little bit extra.
This is the most leverage you've used since we started factoring in leverage. That's how confident you are in the short side.
I've used a 5 before, but I am pretty confident in this pullback. It's just on a daily basis, there's always a pullback.
Wow. All right. Let me show you what I'm doing. Can you guess?
I think you're gonna go. I'm not sure. You can go either way on this one, long or short. I think you're gonna go short, and that's why I needed to go slightly higher leverage than you. So I'm gonna say you're gonna go short 3 or 4x.
All right, give me the screen share. Give me this motherfucking screen share. I'll show you. So it upsets me, Tone. It upsets me that you know me so well. I'm going short. I'm going short. All right. I'm only going 2x leverage short because I feel like I have to preserve my capital a little bit at this point. now that I'm back in range here. So I'm actually quite happy here because either I'll only lose a little bit, or I'll no, and then I'll win the competition, or I will, make a little bit and not go up the board. Um, I feel like I was being overly bearish in my analysis. I am fucking red hot on Bitcoin. This is fantastic. I feel like I wasn't expressing how excited I am that we are where we are. You said it yourself. At what, two year high, more than 2021? Come on.
Yeah.
This is excellent. This is awesome. This is exciting. This is what we've been waiting for. This is why you did all those push-ups. We're getting there, right?
Yeah. So let me explain the reason for the high leverage, right? Like, so even if I am not right on the trade, even if we do tick up a little bit, like we have in the last, like the Thursday into Friday trade and Friday into today trade, what I'm not expecting is a 5% upcamp, right? So even if we don't significantly pull back in the next 24 hours, I'm not expecting us to break 50. So the upside here is very limited. So again, yeah, think of it from a real trader perspective, right? I'm willing to go high leverage on a short right now because my stop loss that proves that I'm wrong is so freaking close.
Yeah.
So if this was a real life trade,
Yeah.
my ultimate stop loss would be right here.
48,300.
The moment we're breaking this high, maybe even this one right here, right? Because this high is very close to this high, is very close to this high. So the risk, the real life risk with real money is absolutely tiny. It's $400. It's less than 1% of the price of Bitcoin before I would throw in the towel on a short trade. So in a situation like this, I'm comfortable going high leverage short. And my expectation is whatever that moving average is, feels like it's in a good area, and probably even a little bit lower down to that 200 moving average on the 1 hour chart. And even this is in the middle of nowhere. There's absolutely no support whatsoever until you get all the way down to 43.5. So I think the downside here on a short-term basis is just too high to ignore.
And that's exactly what I said with my analysis. Like, I'm looking for downside targets because I don't buy in the middle of a pump, but I'm looking for at least a moving average to buy off. But if we start pumping above that 48,300 or 40, a little bit higher than that, I'll just go all in again. It's all good. That's exactly where we're looking at the same thing, man. It's the same. It's the same.
Right. And by the way, this is a situation where I almost never do this in real trading, where I take on, let's say, a short trade, and then under a certain condition that is very, very close to my trade, I would instantly flip that trade from a short to a long. It's something I never advise when I teach trading. Don't ever get yourself in a mentality where you don't know what's going on and you're going from a short to a long to a short to a long, and you're just gonna. It's like, that game where you spin yourself around the bat, and then you gotta go and like put a pin on something, or you gotta cross a finish line. Don't ever do that. But this is one of those rare situations where I'm willing to go on a short trade and then instantly flip it to a long under this condition.
Absolutely. And a few of these trades we made, I think even the last one we made, I said I could be 50-50 on this. In reality, I wouldn't trade it. It's a liminal space. Fibonacci, liminal space.
All right.
Awesome.
I think we're good here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today. Please like it and subscribe to the show. Please share it with your friends. We're here every night. We're doing our best for you, and I hope you appreciate it. And I don't care if you appreciate it or not, but I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Please use the affiliate links in the description below. It means a lot to me. And there's a really good exchanges coming. We've got the Blackbox launching soon with the best promotion I've ever seen anywhere in the world. And that's not hyperbolic. It's an incredible deal that's coming when the 2-bit link kicks off. Please visit tonebase.com, alphanumetrics.com if you're interested. Please watch the show with Fibonacci. It's a passion project for me, and it means a lot. And we've got more guests coming up in the future. It's going to be fantastic. Tonebase, thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching, guys, and see you all at this time tomorrow.